And we are live.
Okay, thanks to you. Welcome to the Municipality of South Dundas. We have called the special meeting of his council with his team for Monday, December the 5th. This meeting was called to address 4 specific items.
We are live.
That we had consultations. To the Municipality of South Dundas. We have called the special meeting of his council with his team for Monday, December the 5th. This meeting was called to address 4 specific items.
We are live.
Yeah. Oh.
That we had.
I don't have it open.
Sorry about that. We had an echo. We called this meeting to address 4 specific items as we had consultation during our orientation sessions, and the staff have the information in place for us potentially to move on. So we'll call the meeting to order at 1:07 p.m. Are there any disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof? Seeing none, we'll move to action item number 3A, disposal of surplus equipment, our Volvo grader unit number 91. Transportation Director Jeff Hyman is here to give us a short update.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So just an update to this unit. So during our training session on November 22nd, I briefed Council on the municipal fleet, noting specific equipment that was becoming challenging in maintaining, mainly due to costs. The item in particular was grader 91. During that presentation, we touched on some numerous topics, being the current grader usage, the grader stats in current situation, the proposed short-term solution, the proposed long-term solution, and what next steps would look like. During that session, it was also recommended that no additional funds be invested further to the unit moving forward, and that staff were to look into disperse of this unit and to sell as is, where is. Some of the issues which we are arising with Unit 91, if we were to talk about the current usage, we utilize it in the spring, the fall, and in the winter, grading our gravel roads in the springtime. In the fall, again, grading gravel roads. It's also used in the summer when we do our maintenance stone program. And in the wintertime, we will send it out to ice blade the gravel roads to remove the ice that could build up. A rough idea of costs spent on this grader, we're up around the 117,000 mark since purchasing the grader. It just seems to be one repair after another. And I will say that it's not due to driver abuse. It is all strictly mechanical parts that are breaking. There are still outstanding issues with it. A grader or a transmission concern, and the moldboard needs to be rebuilt at a cost of $9,000. Short-term plan. So I have reached out to rent a grader. I have tracked one down, and I'm just in the process of getting it delivered. So we will be able to look after our fall grading at an hourly rate. Then it will be returned. So this winter, we will not have a grader per se, unless I reach out to try to find another grader, but it'll be kind of at the mercy of the contractor if it is free and available at that time. Long-term solutions, we're looking at either leasing a grader, or option 2 would be to purchase a 2023 model grader, which would then be added to the fleet. It is a large expense, and I do appreciate that it is a large expense. So we are investigating different options, one being the lease of a grader. So the next steps would be sell is as is. There is an auction with Ritchie Brothers Auction in Montreal. It is coming up December 14th, I believe is the date. So staff is recommending that we do not spend any additional resources on this grader, and that we ship it to Montreal, set ourselves up as a seller, and eliminate this asset at this time. So that is my recommendation at this time. I can answer any questions which you may have.
Any questions or comments from the councillor team? Thank you very much, Jeff. That was a great explanation as for the details. So I do have a motion that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas accept report TS 2022-08 to approve the disposal of surplus grader number 91 using Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers, and that council authorizes staff to proceed with transporting unit number 91 to Ritchie Brothers auction site in Mont Saint Hilaire, Quebec at a cost of $1,100 plus HST. Do I have a person to motion that, move that motion? Motion by Councillor Vino, seconded by Councillor Smith. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you very much, Transportation Director, Mr. Hyman. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 3B, compensation review and performance management. CEO Shannon Garrity is here to explain more.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. And just a follow up to our previous discussion. So at this time, what we're looking for Council's direction is to proceed with a compensation review as well as a pay equity and performance management overview. At this time, we are having trouble not only with recruiting staff, but further down the road, we could have some issues in retaining staff. So this is a kind of a review that is estimated or recommended every 5 years to undergo. The last time we actually did a external review was back in 2007, when we initially developed our pay grid that we currently use today. So at this time, looking for Council's direction and approval to proceed with the review, but also to look at utilizing Pesce & Associates, who have done this type of review with neighboring municipalities over the last year to 2 years. As well, they did do some work on our organizational review. So they have a good understanding of our staffing levels, our current departments. So there's some savings, some cost savings that we could utilize going down this path with Pesce & Associates. They would be able to commence immediately with 6 different phases throughout the process, with the end result coming to Council in mid-March of 2023, with a confidential report to Council and recommendations. So certainly all municipalities are having trouble recruiting. This is just another step that we can do, and hopefully ensuring that all of our positions are marketable to our neighboring municipalities so that we can compete on a fair basis. So if Council has any questions, more than happy to answer.
Any questions or comments? Okay, that's great, Shannon. So the municipality continues to strive to be a competitive employer. I think we need to make sure we have a fair, competitive compensation program. I think the external review will assist us in recruitment and retention of employees. I think this is a key strategy moving ahead, especially since we haven't had a review like this since 2007. Any other final questions or comments? I have a motion that the Council of Municipality of South Dundas accept report CAO 2022-12 to engage the services of Pesce Associates in the amount of $37,800 plus HST for the implementation and establishment of a compensation review and performance management program, and that Council of the Municipality of South Dundas authorize non-competitive approval under the procurement policy due to the timing of the work to be completed, in addition to recognize savings in continuing with the consultant based on prior work and knowledge. Someone like to move the motion? Councillor Ward, seconded by Councillor Smith. All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 3C, industrial park material removal and transfer for the Safai sale. CEO.
Yes, thank you again, Mayor and Council. So as a follow-up, and this is actually a follow-up to a previous recommendation that was given to the previous council on September 26, 2022. There is a large pile of material that we have to have removed from the site in which the Sophia will be purchasing. The closing date is December 16th, and this is kind of the last condition that we have to agree to in order to satisfy the conditions. At this time, we have taken a good portion of the soil away to be used as cover until the landfill. The previous discussion I did have with this council is there was some concerns in regards to the soil analysis. So we have, for council's consideration, we did have St. Lawrence Testing do 2 stockpile samples. They have both come back positive, and in accordance to the St. Lawrence Testing, they do meet the Ontario Regulation 153-04 Table 2 soil standards. The only condition, which our Director of Transportation is aware of, it cannot be within 100 feet of a water body. So our recommendation is to bring it to the old lagoon in Morrisburg. We will well be within that 100 feet, but it will also reduce the amount of time that we will need to remove the remaining material. So at this time, we are recommending council to authorize up to $100,000 to complete the material removal. We don't anticipate that we'll need that much money. We anticipate right now probably about half of that, but we want to get moving on it and get Lloyd McMillan in there to remove it, and so that we can complete the sale by December 16th. But happy to answer any questions that council may have.
Deputy Mayor St. Pierre.
Yeah, thank you. Through you, Mayor Broad. Shannon, you made a statement here. You said that the dumping in the material is going to be within 100 feet. Do you mean it's going to be outside of the 100 feet?
Sorry, through you, Mayor Broad, to Deputy Mayor St. Pierre. Yes, we will ensure that it is not, it meets the conditions within the 100.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And really, the cost are the cost. I mean, it's coming out of the sale of the land, but it's a cost is a cost. We're hoping it's less, but it is what it is for the condition of the sale.
Through you, Mayor Broad, to Deputy Mayor St. Pierre. Correct. Any of the proceeds of the sale will go into the sale of asset reserve. So we're just pulling it from that to meet the conditions. Ultimately, the material should have been taken care of way back in the day when the transmission line was put in, but we're just taking care of completing that now, and also completing the upkeep of our old compost site, taking care of that as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor Broad.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any other questions or comments? Councillor Smith.
Yeah, the question I had was, Shannon, if something happens that this does not get done in time, then what's going to happen? Does anybody know?
Through you, Mayor Broad, to Councillor Smith. So if for some reason we can't get this done, we can definitely go back to the purchaser and look at a small extension to extend the closing date by a week or two. But based on my discussion with our Director of Transportation, Lloyd is ready to go, and we anticipate 5 to 6 days to complete it.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Great. Well, we're certainly anxious to see the sale of land go through, and welcome Sophia Home Furnishings to South Dundas. Certainly going to be an exciting time. I was certainly excited to hear about it when it first came out earlier this year, but certainly excited to find out, when they build an industrial warehouse, they're going to create a lot of jobs for us. So getting this sale completed is key for us to move forward. I do have a motion. The council accept report CAO 2022-13 to authorize up to $100,000 transfer from the sale of asset reserve fund, in part the removal of fill at the industrial park as a condition under the purchase of sale to Sophia Home Furnishings. Someone make the motion. Deputy Mayor St. Pierre, seconder. Councillor Vino. All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. And the last item today is Matilda landfill reduced hours. So at the regular meeting, we had approved the closure of the office during the holidays. We've now have the recommendation that we close for a few extra days during the holiday season. That's to allow our employees to spend some extra time and also meet the needs of moving the stat holidays. We do have a schedule that's Schedule 8, and we will be posting it and sending it out. And it does allow for more hours in the days of the days we're open. So we're hoping that this does meet the needs of our residents and contractors to dispose of their waste. Of course, we'll take any feedback and go forward for 2023 if we want to make any alterations. But we feel this is great to allow our staff who's worked really hard in the last year to celebrate the holidays. Any comments or questions on the schedule? That being said, I have a motion that the council of the municipality of South Dundas approve the limited hours as outlined in Schedule A during the Christmas holidays at the Batilla landfill site. Motioner, Councillor Ward, thank you. Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Smith. All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Okay, adjournment and final statement. That council, I have a motion that the council now adjourn to meet again at the call of the chair. A motioner. Councillor Smith. Second. Deputy Mayor St. Pierre. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. So as we conclude this special council meeting of the municipality of South Dundas for December the 5th, I'd like to say thanks to the whole South Dundas team, and on behalf of the council team, thanks to the staff that worked on today's item. Really excited to get moving ahead on a few of these items. And thanks to those that invested their time with us online or reviewing it as a recording. Our next regular meeting is on Monday, December the 12th, so a week from today. Hope you can join us then. Until then, have a great rest of your